So remember the term, playing the ref with our judges and our justices should be punishable by very serious fines and beyond that.
This is Michael Popok in the Legal AF channel. You just heard Donald Trump's hypocrisy on display. Somebody that has made a living attacking federal and state judges of every stripe, claiming that they're corrupt, claiming that they're depraved in an effort to try to play the refs, in his words. He's now calling for the criminalization of people who criticize judges, particularly his judges, like the ones on the United States Supreme Court. Let's break it all down on this new hot take. You just heard Donald Trump say that it's unfair, that it would be criminalized in his new administration if you go after a judge. He doesn't mean go after them in an attacking situation, which I agree with. He's talking about using First Amendment right to criticize them, like calling out the United States Supreme Court and the alt-right wing of it for being corrupt and in the back pocket of the Federalist Society and of Leonard Leo and people like Alito and Thomas being corrupt and taking payoffs and bribes for people that are alt-right and have business before the court. You know, that kind of criticism. To Donald Trump, that should be criminalized. But to him, what he says and does when he goes after, time and time again, every judge that has a case involving him and every jury that has a case involving him, that's fair play. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So according to Donald Trump should be indicted for going after judges. I mean, he's already violated every gag order that's ever been put in place. He violated the gag order several times in the D.C. election interference case put in place by Judge Chutkan. He violated the gag order in front of Judge Engoron in the $500 million fraud case. In fact, was found in criminal contempt as a result and fined as a result. He's violated the gag order in the criminal case, 34-count conviction of Donald Trump in front of Judge Merchan at least a dozen times, and those issues will all be brought forward by the prosecutors at the time of his sentencing on the 26th of November. In fact, if you don't believe me, let's hear it from Donald Trump first. A second clip of Donald Trump in which he said, Let's criminalize attacking judges. Let's hear that first, then I'll show you what he's done. Roll the first clip.
They were very brave, the Supreme Court, very brave, and they take a lot of hits because of it. It should be illegal what happens. You know, you have these guys like playing the ref, like the great Bobby Knight. These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices.
All right. Now, let's talk about the 4 different judges that Donald Trump in the last 2 years has attacked. Let's start with his attack on Judge Engoron. Roll the clip.
And this rogue judge, a Trump hater, the only one that hates Trump more is his associate up there, his person that works with him. And she's screaming into his ear and almost every time we ask a question, you disgrace. You want to know the truth? It's a disgrace. So this rogue judge refuses to acknowledge the fact that we won 80% of this case in the appellate division, including statute of limitations. So on the statute of limitations, you have a period of time. He wants to go back so far that nobody's ever even heard of such a ridiculous thing. So we won the case in the appellate division, and this judge refuses to acknowledge the appellate division, meaning he's got contempt for his own court system. Nobody's ever seen that before, where he refuses to even talk about it or acknowledge it.
Now let's use the clip of his attack, Donald Trump's attack on Judge Merchan, who presided over his 34 felony count conviction, 12-0 by a jury in New York. Roll the clip.
I was recently informed that another corrupt New York judge, Juan Merchan, gagged me. That's gagged like you can't talk. But he gagged me with respect to a case that everyone, including the DA, felt should never have been brought. Plenty of people have gagged me recently because when I talk in New York, I explain to the people and they understand these cases are all rigged. It sounds fair, doesn't it, to be gagged, but it's not. It virtually never happens. It only happens to me because I'm able to tell people what's happening, and those people get extremely angry with what's happening. This judge should be recused, and the case should be thrown out. He's totally conflicted. There's never been a judge more conflicted than this one. There has virtually never been anything like it. Thank you very much.
Now let's look at him attacking Judge Lewis Kaplan, federal judge who presided over not one, but 2 trials in which 2 separate juries found that Donald Trump sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll and awarded her collectively up to $100 million in total judgments. Let's roll that clip.
And I said, I will go to all days. So what happened very terribly is we asked to just delay the trial for one day so I could go to the funeral tomorrow, and then we could start Friday or Monday or any time they want. And he said, absolutely not. The trial will go on just as it is. You can go to the funeral or you can go to the trial, but you can't do both. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was terrible. So he would rather have me miss the funeral or go to the funeral, miss the trial. And that's a nasty man. He's a nasty judge. He's a Trump-hating guy. And it's obvious to everybody in the court. It's a disgrace, frankly, what's happening. It's a disgrace. Happens to be a Clinton appointment, but I'm sure that has nothing to do with it.
And then finally, we've got Judge Chutkan. Judge Chutkan, who's presiding over the current case, the D.C. election interference criminal case against Donald Trump, the one in which the government is about to drop a 180-page plus brief on top of the judge, presenting and airing new evidence against Donald Trump in order to keep their superseding indictment alive as against the immunity judgment by the Supreme Court. Let's roll the clip of Donald Trump attacking Judge Chutkan.
Today, a judge put on a gag order. I'll be the only politician in history that runs with a gag order where I'm not allowed to criticize people. Can you imagine this? Do you believe this? I'm not allowed to criticize people. So we'll see. We'll appeal it, and we'll see. But it's so unconstitutional. The good thing is we have so much support. It's incredible. And it just makes it even more so. Look, I'm the only guy that ever got indicted. I got indicted more than Alphonse Capone. Did anyone ever hear of Al Capone? If you looked at him the wrong way, he was seriously tough, right? Scarface. You know, they call him Scarface. Had a little scar in there. I'm sure it was a minor accident, but he was Scarface. But Al Capone, if you looked at him in the wrong way, if he didn't like you, you looked at him a little bit askance, he blew your brains out. He was only indicted one time. I've been indicted 4 times. And in addition, I have these civil trials that are all coming out of the Justice Department. They've weaponized the Justice Department and the FBI. A judge gave a gag order today. Did you hear that? On speech, which I believe is totally unconstitutional, what she did. A judge gave a gag order. A judge doesn't like me too much. Her whole life is not liking me. But she gave a gag order. You know what a gag order is? You can't speak badly about your opponent. But this is weaponry all being done because Joe Biden is losing the election and losing very, very badly to all of us.
I haven't even put on the table that Donald Trump has also attacked in the past people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the deceased Supreme Court justice, and others that he hasn't liked. So to hear Donald Trump tell it, Donald Trump should be indicted for attacking judges or trying to, quote unquote, play the refs. Because how else do you explain the clips of him attacking Engoron, Merchan, Kaplan, and Chutkan? But when Donald Trump wants to play the refs the other way, he, in an obsequious way, he compliments them. He fawns over them. Like when he recently complimented the United States Supreme Court justices, alt-right, starting with Gorsuch, Alito, Thomas, and Roberts, and others, who ripped away a woman's right to choose by destroying a over 50-year constitutional right to bodily autonomy that was embedded and embodied in Roe versus Wade when they issued the Dobbs decision over 2 years ago. Let's roll the fawning clip of Donald Trump complimenting judges there in order to gain their favor for future cases. Roll that clip.
We've done something on abortion that nobody thought was possible, and I give those 3 brilliant, if you think about it, and it's 6, but the 3 that we put in, but 6 brilliant justices of the United States Supreme Court, a tremendous hand for their intelligence, but also for their courage. It took a lot of courage to do so.
So let's pull it all together. On a week where Donald Trump has had criminal charges sworn out against him in Ohio for his hate speech against the proud Haitian hardworking community in Springfield, Ohio, along with J.D. Vance, okay? That same week, he's now telling rallygoers to cheers when he can get the name of the city right or the state right that he's in. He was in Georgia recently. He told the crowd, hey, it's good to be back in Louisiana. Okay, so when he can figure out what state he's in, He then tries to figure out a way to gaslight us and say, we should never, as a people, under our social contract, under our brand of patriotism, we should never attack the criminal justice system or judges. Oh, heaven to Betsy, clutching of the pearls. It should be criminalized, except when I do it over and over again. And when he's not attacking judges, as we just saw from the clips, he's going after the prosecutors, the federal prosecutors, the special counsel, the Manhattan district attorney generals like Letitia James, all of their families, all of their staff, judges and their staff, prosecutors and their staff, attorney generals and their staff, grand juries, apparently and their families and their staff, special purpose grand juries, regular jurors. I mean, you name it, Donald Trump has attacked. He's been trying before our very eyes to pressure test the very guardrails around and institutions around our democracy that make our constitutional republic secure and unique. And this is a person who believes he should return to the White House. And there's at least, I don't know what number it is, 100 million people that are seriously considering sending Donald Trump back to the White House. When I see the polling and I see that it's, Kamala Harris overall 3 to 5 point national lead, has the lead in the battleground states, but one that's elusive, one that comes down to some final events between now and the closing arguments being made in real time to the American people. I can't even believe Donald Trump's that close. I don't know how he gets any votes. Why should he get any more votes than RFK Jr. or anybody else that's a crackpot that's running? Why? On what body of work is he running? He had a terrible presidency. He is an idiot in chief. He's lost his fastball. When you compare him even to 2016 to 2024, he can't put a sentence together. He has no continuity. He has no executive function going on up in the old noggin. And yet people think, yeah, milk was 30 cents cheaper. Gas was $1 cheaper. I'm going to vote for that guy. Really? That's what we're down to? There's only one party in a two-party system right now. And don't take my word for it. More than 200 national security advisors and national security experts, mainly Republicans, have come out in favor and endorsed Kamala Harris. Judge Michael Luttig has endorsed Kamala Harris. Every major White House presidential scholar and White House lawyer working for all prior Republican administrations, including the Trump administration, have come out for Kamala Harris. This groundswell of Republicans for Kamala Harris watch Donald Trump, dictator in training, saying that people should be jailed for criticizing judges while he does the exact same thing. Continue to follow it all and welcome. Let me do a bit of a welcome to those that are watching me here on the new, in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, the new Legal AF channel, Legal AF MTN. I'm curating this channel. I'm sitting at that intersection of law and politics, and I'm bringing you the commentary and analysis that you've come to expect and love. I'm still doing all my work over the Midas Touch Network and the podcast, Legal AF, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, still on of course, on the Midas Touch Network. Those are our brothers. We're not leaving them. This is a new channel, a new pro-democracy channel. And here's your opportunity to help us with the initial build. Help Midas Touch get to 4 million. Help us get to 100,000 by the weekend. We're really close, and we're only a week old. So I appreciate it. Take time out. Go out and free subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. Legal AF MTN. Tell your friends and family. And let's get us to 100,000 by the weekend. And then we'll go from there. We don't blow smoke or sunshine. As you know, we bring it to you straight using the experience that I know. Lawyers talking about things that they know what they're talking about at the crossroads of law and politics. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, until my next exclusive content right here on the Legal AF MTN channel, this is Michael Popok, and I'm reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.